Today, I'm back with super hot takes for 4Ks, and wow, it's about to get spicy in here. I'm going to give you hot takes, meaning things that most people would probably disagree with, especially as a collector. But once again, they're just my own personal thoughts at the moment. I know because they're hot takes, there's going to be controversy here. Of course, leave your hot takes in the comments below on any physical media topics you have. And of course, let's just have a good time getting it a little bit spicy. So we're going to turn up the heat here. I'm going to go over 4K hot takes. So let's get right into this. But before we do that, of course, if you love collecting physical media just like me, go ahead and mega smash that like and subscribe. That way you stay entertained and up to date on all this physical media goodness. But starting off with my first 4K hot take, we got to have that not all 4Ks are better than Blu-rays. I know sometimes we think, oh, it's a 4K, it must be better than its Blu-ray counterpart. And I would disagree. To me, there's a lot of factors that changes what a disc might look like. It's not just about 4K, it's about who's doing the restoration. Is it overseen by the director? What's the color in it? What's the timing on everything? How does it flow? All these different visual aspects, and then you get into the sound aspects with different audio tracks, and that can give a different experience. And once again, there might be better treatment done to a Blu-ray than a 4K. Just because it's a 4K disc does not make it better. So, an example here, we got Pan's Labyrinth on Criterion Blu-ray edition. Now, they do have a 4K of Pan's Labyrinth out there. You can go get one, absolutely. But this is actually highly regarded as the best way to watch this movie. Just the quality here on the Blu-ray disc is absolutely stunning. The coloring's amazing. I believe it was overseen by the director of the film, or at least somebody that worked on the movie heavily, and that's why this one just looks so darn good. You do not need to upgrade it to 4K. Next up, we gotta have another hot take here. We gotta say that 4Ks are actually better looking the older the movie is. Yes, the more classic the movie, usually the better 4K work that can be done. And in particular, with black and white movies. Now, I know it was for the longest time that people thought black and white, you do not need 4K on that. I mean, come on, there's not even a lot of colors in there. What are you doing with the 4K? But I'm telling you, just the depths you can go with the darks and the bright whites in there just completely changes the viewing experience and really just updates it for modern audiences. So I love 4Ks on black and white movies, especially if done right. Really good restoration work in there. You really can't beat that. So, for example, I would much rather see, It's a Wonderful Life on 4K. Looks so absolutely amazing. I just salivate when I see this one because it's so good and I love it. And it's a black and white film, 4K. I much rather watch that on 4K than, say, a super modern movie like, a Marvel superhero movie, even though I love this genre here. And yeah, it does look great. If you compare it with its Blu ray counterpart, they're pretty close. Yes, there's differences, but not as much as a massive difference as you compare, black and white 4K to its Blu-ray counterpart. Once again, there's a bigger gap in difference there visually, at least in my own opinion and how I view it. So once again, I would love more 4Ks for older movies, especially black and white classic movies. Give me ultra high definition all day on those. All right, next up, we got to talk about some slip covers on 4K. So slip covers to me are overrated. Yes, I just said that. Why must everything have a slip cover? To me, slip covers actually aren't that important anymore. The reason why is because a lot of times you look at the slip cover and then you take out the case, and guess what? It's gonna be the exact same artwork. Nothing changes. It's the same exact thing. There's no different design. It is exactly the same. Just has a slipcover on top of this, but it's the same. It's the same exact picture. Nothing different here. So why do people love slipcovers so much? I'm not getting it right there. Yeah, it gives an extra layer of protection. I get it. But then it also takes up more space on the shelf. So that's another problem. Imagine all the slipcovers you could take off and then have much more movies on your shelf, right? All that slipcover space does add up eventually. And once again, the artwork isn't different on like 90% of the 4Ks out there. Now, once in a while, they will change the artwork, and then that's cool. That's when I love a slipcover. Give me different artwork on the front, and then on the inside, that is awesome. Also, if you can do reversible artwork with it, that's really cool as well. If you change the art design, I much more appreciate that than slapping the same cover, just making it a slip on top of it. What's the big deal about that? I don't get why everybody loves slips so much. Than me, once again, I could often do without them. It's not really going to change the experience for me too much on collecting. All right. Now we're getting into my top hot takes here. Okay, so these are going to get even more spicier, especially once we get to the number one, but we're not there yet. Another hot take I have is that I actually prefer 4Ks in a box set than just standalone titles. A lot of people like collecting them standalone, right? They can see all the names and titles right there on the shelf. But I love box sets because it just takes up way less space. I mean, imagine if I had all these Jurassic World movies, that would take a much of what, double the space, triple the space. This takes up barely any space on the shelf. And guess what's cool about this too? Not only is it 4Ks, but also has Blu-rays. Imagine if I took the Blu-rays out, just had the 4Ks, that would take up barely anything on the shelf. That means more room for movies, and that's why I love box sets for franchises. Now, don't get me wrong, there's drawbacks, of course, like when they add a new movie into the franchise. Now, what do? You got to get that one standalone. But hey, if you wait till the franchise is completely done, then you just get the complete box set. But will it ever be done? That is another drawback. I get it, but still, box sets to me, no matter what, are going to take up less space on the shelf, and more space for collectors is so important. There's so many movies out there, limited space. We got to save space how we can. I love box sets over standalones for 4Ks. Give me box sets all day. All right, next up, we're getting into the spiciest number one super hot take here. And I know I'm going to hear about this one in the comments. I'm ready for it. Okay, so let's go with a 4K that everybody loves. Just joking. Terminator 2 Judgment Day. A lot of people say this is an awful 4K. They don't even watch this one. They don't like it at all. They just don't like how they treated the 4K quality here. Now, I've seen this one, and I gotta say, it's not terrible. It's not terrible. Stay with me here. Stay with me. I know I'm gonna hear it in the comments, but come on. Does it change the movie experience that much? I don't think so. You're still getting an amazing story with great actors and just how it's told. Now, the look of it, of course, is different. They did pretty much go and scrub it clean, and it looks super digital, as if it was filmed way after the 2000s, just so squeaky clean. Now, some people may actually prefer that though. Like my wife loves newer modern films. She would love, things looking scrubbed clean. So she actually likes this one. Even when I was watching it, she walked in and said, "Oh, is that the new Terminator movie?" Just because the look of it. So once again, some people prefer the digital style to it all. Now, some people prefer it looking a little bit more classic, like it's on film, because that is how the movie was shot. I get it. I get the complaint there. You want to see how it was originally presented with it, looking like it was on film. I get it. I get it. If you're into film grain, you're going to not like this at all. I totally understand. To me, I'm fine either way. I'm okay with the film grain. I'm okay with it being scrubbed clean like this. The meat, it doesn't make a massive difference. And once again, if I had to lean towards one way or the other, I kind of like it scrubbed clean a little bit, because the meat grain sometimes can get a little fuzzy in there, just throws off the viewing just a little bit. So, yeah, sometimes I like it like this, just depends. But I have the Blu-ray, depending if I want to see it more film grainy. I got both options here. So I'm not going to super hate on this one at all, even though I know everybody says this is the worst thing that ever happened to 4Ks. Redo it. Go ahead and redo this one, which maybe one day they will, and they'll make it look more how it kind of was originally filmed. But once again, to me, I don't complain too much about this one. It's okay. It is what it is. It's not going to ruin my watching of it. I could watch it right now, have no problem, still have a great time with this movie. But there you go. I know that was a super hot take there. Those were my 4K hot takes. Once again, you guys are going to have to let me know in the comments below which of the hot takes you totally disagree with. I know it's going to be most of them because they are a hot take. But once again, what are your hot takes yourself on physical media? And then, of course, let's just have a great time talking the movies down below. And if you haven't already, mega smash that like and subscribe. That way you stay entertained and up to date on all the latest physical media topics. Turn on that notification bell so you know when a new video posts. And of course, if you love this topic, go ahead and mega smash the next one right now. And thank you so much, my mega membership supporters.